Hey guys, so in this video we are going to learn about iterative statements in Python. So this is part 3. Already in chapter 4, part 1 and part 2 we have completed. Part 1 is having the introduction about iterative statements. Part 2 is about for loop and part 3 is about while loop. So in this video we are going to learn what is while loop in Python, how are we going to use those while loop structure in our programming with examples. So let us start with the definition and explanation about while loop. So when you compare all other looping structures in all the programming languages, while loop is the simplest one. The reason is here we are going to use the iterations, number of iterations only at the end of the loop. So when you are not knowing the number of iteration at the beforehand, you can use this. So if you consider for loop, the statement is having the initialization of the variable and then the condition, checking condition, then the iteration. But here, when you are not knowing about the number of iterations in the beforehand, you are going to use while loop. The while loop keeps on executing the block of statements as long as the specified test condition evaluates to true. But in for loop, until and unless it is false, it is working. Okay, let us start with the component of while loop. So there are 4 main components are available in while loop: initialization, condition or text expression, loop body, step value. When comparing to for loop, initialization, test condition, loop body are common. Only the step value is new here for the while loop. So let me explain all these one by one. The first case is initialization. It is easier to initialize the loop control value. Here we are going to initialize the loop control, which means the variable, suppose if it is I is equal to 10 or I is equal to 0. So the initialization, assigning the value for the variable will take place here in the part of initialization. The next part is condition or test expression. So here in this case, we are going to use the expression. Okay, the value, the test condition where we are going to check like I is less than 10 or I is less than or equal to 10, I is greater than 10. So that test condition is here mentioned as condition or test expression on which the iteration is going to happen, on which the while loop is going to work. So that is here mentioned as condition or test expression. The next one is loop body. Loop body contains a set of statements that are required to iterate or repeat. So loop body is nothing but set of statements which is going to work within the loop, within the while loop. So that is loop body. And step value is nothing but here the updation of the control variable. Control variable is nothing but where the initialization happened. I is equal to 0, I is equal to 10. Okay, so that variable is control variable, and whether it is going to increment or decrement. Okay, so that part is step value, whether you are going to increase the value of the control variable or decrease the value of the control variable. That will happen in the part of step value. Based on this, it will go again and it will check the condition. So only based on the step value, your loop is going to work. So once the final value has been reached, it will come out from the loop automatically. So these are the components of while loop. So now let me show the syntax of while loop. Initialization of the control variable. While is a keyword. Condition is test condition, and here colon is compulsory. Then loop body. And here, as I said in the beginning, for if condition and for loop, here we are using indentation. Indentation is very, very important. If you are not, indentation is nothing but the space we left over here. Okay, if you didn't do this, your program will not work in a fine way. So here loop body is nothing but a set of statements which is going to work under your while condition. And then updation is nothing but step value, whether you are going to increase the value of control variable or decrease the value of control variable. So that is here mentioned as updation. So only while is a keyword in this, and then the colon is very, very important in this. And the third important thing is the indentation. So when the next statement is starting, it should start near the margin. So indentation is also very, very important in Python programming. Now let us have an example. Program to print the square of numbers between 10 to 20. Square of 10, square of 11, square of 12. So it will go on like that, and then the value will be printed until square of 19. Here's the program. I is equal to 10. I am using the initialization here. I is equal to 10, initialization of control variable. So I is the control variable here. I am assigning 10 for I, while keyword test condition I is less than 20, because in the question it is given here for me between 10 to 20. Okay, so when it is printed, it will leave 20 because always it will take one number less. So I is less than 20, colon is a part of your syntax. Then indentation, print is a keyword, open bracket, I star I, because I'm going to print the square of numbers. Square is I 2 times. So I multiplied by I. So I into I. So this is what loop body. Next, updation or step value. I plus equal to 1, which means I is equal to I plus 1. Both are same. I is equal to I plus 1 or I plus equal to 1. Both are same. So here I just used I plus equal to 1. Now let me explain how this loop is going to work. So initially value of I is 10. 10 less than 20. Condition is true. So what will happen? It will come to print statement. 10 multiplied by 10. It will print 100. Then it will come over here, I plus equal to 1, which means 10 plus 1. 11 will be assigned to I. Now 11 less than 20, condition is true. It will print the square of 11. It will come here. It will increase the value. It will increment the value of I. Now the value of I is 12. Now it will go here. It will not go to the initialization part. It will go only to the condition part. So 12 less than 20, it will print the square of 12. Then it will come here, incrementation, 13 less than 20, condition true again. It will print the square of 13 and the program will go on like that, and finally the output is here. So 10 square, 11 square, 12 square, 13 square, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It is printing only till 19. It is not printing the square of 20 because it is between 10 and 20, and the condition which I have given here is I less than 20. It is not I less than or equal to 20. Only if you have given less than or equal to, you'll be getting the output even for 20. Okay, so this is how this program is working. Next, let us have another example. Program to display no output when the test condition is false. Now, I'm having a program. I is equal to -1. Initialization, I'm assigning the value of I is -1 while I is greater than 1. Okay, so here I'm giving positive number. Print I incrementation step value. In this case, in the first case itself, value of I is not greater than 1. It is not greater than 1, the value of I. So the condition is false. The output will be, nothing will be printed. There will be no output for this because the condition is false in the first case itself, and it will come out from the program directly. So this is how the while loop is working when the condition is false in the first statement itself. Now let us have another example for while statement. It is program to print the multiples of 7 and their sum in the range between 10 to 30. Multiples of 7. Okay. Multiples of 7. For that, I am going to have two variables. One is a control variable. The other one is used to print the sum of those answers. Okay, so here I is a control variable, S is used to calculate the sum of the output. Okay, now here to get this, I'm going to use two different statements. One is looping structure, other one is control structure. So here while I less than or equal to 30. Okay, so range is 10 to 30. So I'm including even 30. So here if you take, when the value of I is coming, even 30 will be included. Okay, so this condition is used to check only the value of control variable. Now I need one more condition to check whether the number is divisible by 7 or not. So I'm just using if control structure. If I modulus 7, modulus means it will give you the remainder. If you use slash over here, you'll be getting a quotient. If you use modulus over here, you'll be getting the remainder. Suppose if value of I is divisible by 7, the remainder will be 0. So the remainder is 0 means print I. If not, directly go to increment part. Only if the remainder is 0, it will come here, it will print the value of I and it will add I with S. Here we are not giving any value, here we are giving the variable S plus equal to I. S is equal to S plus I. So here it will add the value of I because we are also calculating the sum of our output. Now here the next step, we are increasing the value of I, the control variable, for while loop. Only then I can check. Now let me explain how the program is going to work. So initially the value of I is 10. 10 less than or equal to 30. Condition is true. Now it will come here. 10 modulus 7 equal to 0. So condition is false because 10 is not divisible by 7. I'll be getting the remainder 3. It will not do any things over here. It will directly come here. It will do I is equal to I plus 1. The increment will happen. So 10 is equal to 10 plus 1, 11. It will come here. Condition true. It will check the division part. Again, the condition is false. It will not do anything here. It will come here. 12. This part is true and this condition is false. 13. This is true and this is false. 14. This is true. This is also true because when I divide 14 by 7, the remainder will be 0 because 7 2s are 14. So the remainder is 7. It will print 14 here. It will add the 14 to S. So value of S is 0 now, as of now. So 14 plus 0, now value of S is 14. Okay, so next 15, this condition is true, this condition is false. 15, this condition is true, here it is false. 16, it will go on like that. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So in case of 21, the condition is true. It will print 21. It will add 21 along with S. So now the value of S is 14. 14 plus 21. Next, it will come here. Then it will go on like that. Again, the case is true only when value of I is 28. So 28, it will print 28. Then already 14 plus 21 plus 28. Okay. So 29, 30 conditions are false. Now it will print the sum as the output. So the output will be like 14, 21, 28 because we are printing even I. And the sum of all the multiples of 7 in the range 10 to 30 is 63 because 14 plus 21 plus 28. So this is how this iteration is happening. So I think now the looping structure, the while looping structure is clear. So if you have any doubt, you just put me in the comment box and thank you. Happy learning.